And a big what up, what up, what up, what up? How are you all? Much peace out there. It's Thursday, Thc Theatre with you coming through. Checking it out. Hope everybody is doing good. I'll just turn the light on. Smashing away. Alright, we got Mark and Brendan coming through straight away as per usual. We got a few people in here, so that's fucking nice to see. Same old, as being. Oh, bro, that's exactly what I'm about to put up. Isn't that crazy? Like, good fucking, what's that word? Fucking great minds think alike. I've got a couple of videos that I want to share. Well, firstly will be, I just saw a message from Kevin Rudd. It's pretty dope. I'm going to put that out. Secondly being, as Mark just mentioned, copycat genetics. I saw LMC put up a post referring to this copycat genetics fellow. It's quite interesting, bit of a shame and shambles to see what the hell's going down, but I'll definitely get into it in a little bit of a second. Where are we at? I'm going to go share screen. So once again, thank you, Craig, Mark, Brennan, for coming through. Everybody else that joins us and checks this out on the replay, all good. So we'll just go there. I'll be probably about maybe 10 minutes or so, or a bit more, 10-15 minutes of watching these clips, and then I'll put the link in, maybe drop it out.
Back at...
So basically, this is Kevin Rudd, former Prime Minister of this country, pretty much. Wasn't the first actually. Gough Whitlam was, but he got rejected by his own party. There was a vote to kick him out. One of the most loved, probably, Prime Ministers in Australia. Or I guess loved and hated from both sides. Depends which side you're coming from. But he was the first to acknowledge the Indigenous society and the treacherous things that happened to them, and apologise for what went on in the previous generations that will listen to his message and go from there.
1997 and the Bringing Them Home report. It spoke all that needed to be said about the experience of the stolen generations. It spoke with elegance and it spoke with fact. And one of its 54 recommendations was that there be a formal national apology to the stolen generations. But this was to fall on deaf ears at the time. There is a key quote in the cabinet documents of the time along these lines: a formal apology to Indigenous Australians affected by, and I quote, family separation, unquote, was judged not to be appropriate given the practices at the time were believed to be in the best interests of the children, unquote. That was the position of the Howard cabinet. And I would ask Mr. Howard to reflect today on a simple question, which is, if it is so easy for us today to appropriate the positive things from our history, like Anzac,
he's hitting this
where
on
we
the
had
head.
no direct involvement whatsoever, but we happily appropriate the Anzac legend for our identity and our future, why is it so difficult for us to acknowledge and equally accept responsibility for the negative elements of our history, such as the appalling saga of the stolen generations? You see, you cannot just not just be selective in what we retrieve from history. Retrieve the legends which make us feel good.
Oh, whoops.
And sweep under the carpet.
Oops, sorry about that. I was muted there the whole time. So what I was saying, basically just how he's pointing out the acknowledgement of the fact that, we put onus and aspirations on, to try and recognize and be like the Anzacs, the heroes that fought for our freedoms, to establish the way that we live now. So we're told that, lest we forget, honor these people, even though that, as he said, we weren't even a part of the generation or environment at the time, so we have no idea how it truly was, what it would have been like. We're just told that these people are to be honored and what's the word, people, just people that we should aspire to be like, and then so they're really stamping the good and then putting a design for our future generations, rather than also taking onus of an acknowledgement of the so-called negative part, being firstly the colonization and arriving of the English Empire to take out the Aboriginal peoples, call them animals, and not consider them human, even though there was a direction from the Queen or the King at the time for the monarchs for the explorers to come here and create a treaty with the indigenous people, just like was done in the Americas and in Waikato in New Zealand, but it wasn't done so. So Andrew Bligh, Captain Cook, brought out the Terra Nullius arrangement, because there was previously two. It was you could conquer, it's rules of conquest. So basically you could take over by war and just invasion, or you could also be ceded the crown by the opposing team, basically due to war or similar things, but just a situation where they realize they're not going to be able to continue and they give up all rights to your leadership. So that was the two, and so they called up with a third one called Terra Nullius, meaning a land of nothing. That's the Latin translation, and basically saying that there was no civilization here. It was all just land, animals, flowers, and that's it. Even though they consisted of a civilization of Aboriginals in different countries, different regions, all the existent fauna such as koalas, kangaroos, emus, things like this, and the flowers. So that's just one disgusting part. So everybody's saying there should be acknowledgement of that, as also the pride of the Anzacs. You got to take it all together, all the ingredients, put it together, bring the outcome of the result, the final meal, the final result. So let him continue.
The facts that legitimately make us feel bad. You see, it will be a matter of history, except that it is still part and parcel of where we are today. You see, what Mr. Howard has said most recently on the release, I was not in favour of an apology for a couple of reasons. The first one was that the idea of one generation apologising for the acts of another is an empty gesture. And if behaviour, that has meaning, but I think it's a very empty thing for one generation to say, well, we apologise for something that was done by other people. That, said Mr. Howard, was just meaningless, unquote.
Just stop him there a little bit before he gets on to that. Obviously, a lot of people would probably recognize the flaws and fallacy or this immaturity into that answer. The Prime Minister, the elected Prime Minister, longest serving, or second longest serving of this country to have 2 terms, what's the word, qualified, educated person to go and say that, all right, because I wasn't involved in the situation, it isn't forthright for me to apologize, as there's no connection into it. But to even say that, because he's leading the establishment that was created on the back of all these kind of horrendous situations. So he's benefiting from that situation, as the culture, the society that he is living in is all built upon the atrocious things that have happened in the past. So for him to really say, it's not my connection, it's got nothing to do with me, then, I mean, that's just, to be at the highest position of the country as a politician and to have such an answer, it really, you'd think that's more of like a preschool or a primary school person just coming up with an answer like that, just to avoid any kind of what's the word, onus or responsibility. I'll continue.
The Howard government opposed the apology back in 2001, of course, as a matter of documentary record. But what I find difficult about where we land today is that this attitude has not changed as far as Mr. Howard's view of the world in 2022. Mr. Howard is a person of great standing in the Liberal Party of Australia. After Sir Robert Menzies, the second longest serving Conservative Prime Minister of Australia. I would like to use this occasion today, on the 14th anniversary of the apology, but also anniversary of those cabinet decisions, to make an appeal to Mr. Howard to reflect on his position today, to ask him to consider a change of heart, to ask him to reflect on whether in fact it's possible that he might just have got this one completely wrong. And I say that with not a sense of settling old historical scores, not at all. That was done in the 2007 election. I say it today because Mr. Howard's voice counts for much in the Conservative side of politics today. Please, Mr. Howard, overcome your hardness of heart and join the nation business of reconciliation, of which the apology is one major stepping stone.
Amazing. Wicked. I think he was really, respectable, intelligent with the way he just worded it. I just saw that a couple of days ago and it was brilliant. Just wanted to share that with everybody. And, I'm not behind any really politicians or anything like that at all, because I think, they're doing things supposed to be, what's that word, like, they're educated and they're in a, like, they're put up on a pedestal, considered to be responsible and all, but they just argue like children and just for the sake of it, and it's really not fixing any problems. But anyway, that's cool. I'll go on to another one here, just to continue. To the person that he's talking about was the former Prime Minister, as he said, longest serving there. Go to that. Thanks for everybody for hanging out, and I've just got a few more things here to show. One more video. We'll just go a little bit over here. The main man. So cricket is a big sport in this country.
Australia's most famous cricket tragic, Prime Minister Howard couldn't resist the temptation to roll the arm over. Mr. Howard failed to handle the local conditions with his first delivery. That was a dead ball. Not wanting to damage Australia's cricket reputation on the subcontinent, he stepped up again, wide that time. One last failed attempt before he swapped. Suggested the Prime Minister took over the willow instead of the ball. He successfully kept out two deliveries and decided
I'll put that on.
Retire.
Put that on a bit
resist the temptation to roll the armour. in Pakistan. Mr. Howard failed to handle the local conditions with his first
Oh,
delivery. That was
straight into the ground.
Wanting to damage Australia's
Goes again.
reputation on the
Nope,
subcontinent. He
wide, bro.
Wide that time. One last failed attempt before he
classic.
Suggested.
That's the man that they're all talking about. Bit of a laugh there. So, what I got one more video here to show you. It was related into what Mark was talking about. It's quite, it's from LMC. You can check him out on YouTube or Instagram. High Design also is a company that he's got. It's quite interesting. There's a copycat genetics. So basically, there's a situation of it's a business. He started it out there. Basically, like he's buying genetics from certain breeders. He'll get like get a couple of seeds, try and make a male and a female out of it. Then get a batch of seeds and then brands them as what they were sold as, but he puts it as like a tenth of the price. Although sometimes there's no guarantee the genetics will be what they were. I think even LMC bought one himself, and they turned out to be hermaphrodites and all this. It's quite crazy, but he's got a multi-million-dollar business base going on. So what he's done here, I'll bring it in. He's calling a friend of his. I think it's Zaza Genetics or something. So he's another breeder in America. He kind of explains the situation, and then I'll show you a little bit of this man's response as well. It's quite disheartening to know that it is out there. Like it's just inferior grade products being sold at premium price and stuff. So I'll just figure it out in a sec. So I'll press play and get into it.
Okay, so it's 6 a.m. right now, 9 a.m. for you on the East Coast. So, Zaza, explain to me why do breeders fucking hate copycat genetics, or Dan Green Thumb or Big Dan or what the fuck it is, all as many aliases?
So ultimately, he is not doing the work, but still reselling their genetics. So, for example, my strain being Boondocks Blue, Copy would come get two female clones of Boondocks Blue. He would turn one into a male, breed them together, and then package them with copycat brand on without my permission. So, and that's just an example. So he does have a strain called the Zaza, but that's a blanket term, so I can't take credit for that. But yeah, that's generally why most breeders don't agree with his.
Or other seed people,
He's the only.
What would you?
He's the only breeder who does that.
Yeah, and so the name copycat obviously makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
so
he kind of branded himself with that sort of niche, found a lane for himself with that sort of niche market there. Because he can easily and change the name and won't, and even though ethically it's fucked up, he won't have any of the problems where people hate him. They wouldn't have any idea. But he wants them to know.
That's a really good point there. Like he's obviously this gentleman is like surviving and striving to have that controversy, I guess, because as he said, he could have taken the clones that he got, breeded it together, and just named it something completely different. Although it would have been the same genetics as what he just bought, nobody would have known the difference, and he could have named, but he didn't want to do that. He wants to brand it the same so that, I don't know, it just causes the controversy. And as they say, any publicity is good publicity, but in this case, this guy's fucking crazy. But we'll see how much money he's making in the end. Right.
That's where the controversy comes.
I mean, the more I research this dude, the more I'm like, bro, this guy is a grade A troll. Like, this guy knows the internet. Like, you know, like
He's a troll. He is.
Real deal, though.
He's epic at what he does, though. So I definitely give him props. He's freaking
absolutely.
Like his genius, the freaking even the whole thing with the selling the packs for $1,000 something on the website, and then your right hand man sells them for $50. Like what?
Yeah. It's like which go buy the $1,000 or the $250 pack or.
Yeah, because what I think it does is it just creates this retarded ass resale value for the packs that are $50. So now the guy who's selling for $50 can literally or tell you, yo, I'll give you this pack for $50, but go look on the website, see how much it costs. And you're like, oh, hell yeah.
Oh, so that's what they do. Oh, they're like, oh, I'm going to give you. Oh, so he's creating that artificially in a sense, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, so his boy is like, oh, I got I got a discount on it.
If you want all of that good shit, you
that's actually hella smart. That's hella smart.
Yeah, it is.
He's artificially creating that reseller market, meaning he's artificially being like, yo, he's to a certain.
I don't think that's called that smart, really. I think that's quite devious and kind of criminal in a sense. Like, that would be, if not insider trading, knowledge like that. I'm sure that would be illegal in some sense. He's obviously getting, there's loopholes, and some other entity is doing it. It's got no relation. I'm sure, you can get away with it. But as we can see here, the basics of it, it's pretty evil intent. But he's calling it smart to get away with it. But
amount of looking for seeds that don't understand what's going on. He's like, they gotta pull that on them, right? Could be like, yo, like this copycat genetics, I got this for the low, only $50-$85 a pack. Look online, that's just like $1,200. Yo, that's a finesse, bro.
The ultimate backdoor. And look, and it hence explains why the website is like the pictures, everything about the website is beautiful, professional. It's not the only website either. There's like 4 or 5 of them, or 6 of them. And they all look professionally up to date. Besides the fact that my on his main website on the bottom is literally the warning on my seed package word for word.
And you see there the prices too. It's coming up, like $1,250 US. I don't know how many packs are coming in it. I mean, how many bees actually come in it? But he's puts that up. And he's got numerous websites, and there's obviously something out there that's selling it at a ridiculously. Just as you can see through exactly what he's doing, but it's just a shame that he's survived. We find that there are people out there that obviously can't afford the premium grade; they just want the cheaper option, but don't realize that the product is way inferior, or they just have no knowledge about it at all. It's
And the crazy thing about it is why I know it's mine and that he literally stole it is because I found it in 3 different places and put it together. So I found like 4 different paragraphs and took sentences from here and there and put it together. And then somehow it ends up word for word on the bottom of his website.
Amen. Don't hate the copycat, hate the game.
Genius.
That's hilarious, bro. Oh, I picked up on it, bro. He changes up all the shit. He's like a little, bro. This guy's motherfucking. He's all over the place. Got all these different accounts.
I think he has a. So I know. So there's an Instagram page that basically points out what they consider to be bullshit breeders, scammers, and for some reason not up there. And
the skip to another part. You guys can obviously check it out if you want, but this is him. on
You know
an
what I mean?
Instagram post,
And I get it.
just ranting some
It hurts.
stuff. But
It hurts a lot of people's feelings. You know what I mean? But there ain't nothing I'm going to be able.
So I think, yeah, there you go. So I don't know where he's at, but you can see there it's up 22% to 5.9 million. I don't know if that's his weekly sales, his like annual, or his entire sales, but I didn't fully. Oh, there you go. Last 30 days, he's got holy pajoli, 15 million in the last 30 days worth of sales. I mean, I don't know if you can believe it or what is to believe,
Ridiculous. Yeah. So
it's a shame.
if you
It's
ask
really...
why would you list something for $12.50? Why? Because I can. That's why. You got to remember, you know what I mean? I got shit to accomplish in life, and making, tens of millions of dollars helps me. That helps me try to accomplish my goals of each kid having $100 million in a trust fund.
I just saw it there. See, it says he said he's got goals to achieve, or he's got, what he wants to do in life. But, are you going to do that by the means of what he's doing? Like, ripping people off, selling, taking someone's hard work. As he says, as I said, he's not doing any of the work. All these breeders, generations, try to come up with their own distinct individual plant with their certain traits, and then this guy comes along and just tries to undercut you, and then puts out inferior product, not under your name, but he's got that strain name there. That's how he wants to go about how he, making his $100 million for each child to have a house. And I mean, it's like, it is what it is, and it is out there. This video is not going to stop it. He'll probably, the next 30 days, he'll be making another $20 million. It's legal, I guess, in that sense. He's figured out the way to do it. As LMC was saying, he's a pretty much a marketing genius, I guess, or he's just really figured out how to do this. But yeah, when I saw this, I was just really disgusted, and it is what it is. I guess just get it out there and try and change the name. As it always, big up the farmers, because they're the people who are doing the work, cultivating and nurturing the plant to come out to so we all have this product that we appreciate, or want that high grade flower. There's great terpenes, great smell, high THC content, but it takes a lot of effort, a lot of attention, daily attention to the plant, care to the plant, letting it grow, and then you've got the drying stage. And then all that time in Australia, we're running it as a risk because, it's illegal. Such a helpful thing that so many people appreciate, so many people dedicate their life, so many people have got to hide, in the sense that they do love it, they're advocates, but they'll lose their job, their family might not agree for many reasons, and the risk of don't want to have a criminal record, they don't want to be involved with the police over just a plant that they like to engage with and relax. It's quite amazing. Continue on with this old mate, and I'll probably stop it up. See how far he goes.
Fun. Me owning 40, 50 different properties, you know what I mean? All to leave behind, to accumulate wealth for generations. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. You know what I mean? Like,
Actually, I don't know what he's saying. Right? No, so I'll leave it. I don't want to really publicize this guy anymore and give him much time, because I'm not. It's just, if he was to put in an effort and to build his brand in a respectable way, fair enough. Or even if he names the genetics slightly different, but not to just be the copycat, as he's saying, and take it same name but a lower price, but then also putting out different. He's got numerous websites there, as they mentioned, to put out the $1,200 bag or bunch of seeds, but then have another website, same thing, for maybe a tenth of the price, $100, $50. Just to attract the business there. I mean, is that ethical business behavior, or are you like a sucker for falling for that trap? Or should he not have the ability to be putting those things out there in the first place? It is what it is. It's a huge thing. So much big up. I'll end the broadcast because make it short, sweet, with some good content there. Would really appreciate your comments or like your opinion or something. If you could drop it down at the bottom or share whatever, because it's a huge thing. All you cannabis heads out there, your opinion is worthwhile for this topic because we're the ones consuming, we're the ones who make up this culture. So you've got to do it the right way, be the change that you want. You know what I'm saying? As I say, look inside yourself, find your direction and follow that path, man. Be honest, be the best you can be, and be yourself. It's the only way to do it. Let's kill it. Much appreciation for everybody coming through. Come back on Monday with music on Mondays. Stay cool, stay up with the madness. Be yourself, be great, bro. Thanks a lot for coming through. Really appreciate it.